Hey guys, I've got a bit of a different favorites video for you this time. I am ramping up to do all of my Sephora recommendations for the VIB sale that's coming up, which starts November 1st for Rouge members. And so I'm going to be making recommendations for makeup, for skincare, for, body care, et cetera, et cetera. And I didn't want this to be repetitive. So basically what I'm going to be showing you today are my favorites from this past month, but these are all things that cannot be found at Sephora. So these are all of my non-Sephora favorites. Otherwise, I feel like my videos this week would just be really, really repetitive. So why don't we go ahead and start with what I have on. I'm actually wearing one of the Quince cashmere V-neck sweaters. It is in the color navy, and I have been wearing the Quince cashmere sweaters non-stop ever since the temperature has dropped here in Las Vegas. I have just dove headfirst into sweater weather, and these cashmere sweaters from Quince are so nice. They're so soft, and they are, for cashmere, very, very affordable. So I love this V-neck. I've been wearing this one quite a bit lately. It is one of the sweaters that is a little bit thinner. They have cardigan styles, which are thicker. You can definitely tell by the pictures. They're a little bit more oversized. They're thicker, but this is one of the thinner ones. I have a crew neck in black, which you guys have seen. I've actually posted an Instagram post of it on. I'm wearing it with my Prada skirt. I wore that out to dinner the other night. They've just been the absolute best addition to my wardrobe because they're basic, so they go with everything. They have great, great colors. I actually also just got one of their lighter weight turtlenecks in burgundy. It's such a great burgundy. It's like a really deep red, but it's got this really nice kind of brown undertone to it. Oh my God, it's gorgeous. I think if that color comes in any other silhouette, I think like the crew neck or something, I may have to get it in that as well. So anyway, I just wanted to mention this, just wanted to mention the Quince cashmere sweaters in general, because like I said, I've been wearing them nonstop and they've just been wearing really, really well. I'm very, very impressed with these sweaters. So that is my first favorite. I have a few other non-beauty favorites. So let's just get those out of the way. This I just wanted to mention, and if you'll indulge me in this moment of a little bit of self-promotion, I love my Mishmas mugs. So I announced these Mishmas mugs last week in last Sunday's vlog, and it's something that I've been, working on, and I had my graphic designer design up my logo, which is this MW part, but to make it Mishmasy, I, kind of gave her some of my thoughts, and she came up with this really beautiful kind of brushstroke pine tree. And then on the other side, it says, "Have yourself a merry little Mishmas." And so they went on sale on Sunday, you guys. The response has been amazing. So thank you so, so much. I really, really appreciate all the support that you've shown me, that you've shown the Mishmas mugs. And what I love are all the comments about how excited you guys are for Mishmas. I am as well. This is going to be my 6th year doing Mishmas. And if you guys are unaware of what Mishmas is, it is basically my take on Vlogmas, which is something that started on YouTube. YouTube content creators basically put up a video every single day for the month of December, or from December 1st to December 25th or 24th, whatever it is. Sometimes, kind of people tweak it to however they want to do Vlogmas. So Mishmas started out as a new video for every single day of December. I think I did that for 2 years. And then for the last 3 years, I've been doing it from the 1st until the 25th. And that's what I'm going to be doing again this year. And I usually start off the vlogs drinking some coffee. I will have a coffee advent calendar. I found one. I mentioned it in yesterday's video. So it's going to be the Nespresso advent calendar. I got a Nespresso machine that I am absolutely loving. In fact, I'm going to mention that machine right here. I'm going to flash a picture of it up here. It's just great. I got the Virtuo Creatista version, and it's so much fun. I love putting in the little pods. This is all new for me. I'm not like a coffee pod person. I've never had a machine with pods, but it's fun. And I've gotten all of these different kinds. I got decaffeinated ones because now I'm trying to drink decaf, in the afternoons and after dinner. I used to drink full on caffeinated coffee all day, and it never bothered me. And just for whatever reason, I was like, let me just move to decaf. So I found some decaf pods. It's just been great. It's been so great. And I actually really enjoy the coffee that these machines produce. So anyway, an unexpected favorite, but I'm going to throw that in here because I have just been loving it, absolutely loving it, and enjoying it in my Mishmish mug, which is also a favorite. And before we move on to my beauty favorites, I do just want to mention this hotel lobby candle. So I mentioned hotel lobby candles when they sent me a reed diffuser in their scent New York. I love it. I have it in my TV room. It's sitting on my end table. I absolutely love it. I get a whiff of it every once in a while. There's a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of like amber muskiness, a little bit of vanilla, like a little bit gourmand. It just is a little bit of everything. I find it to be seasonless. It really puts a smile on my face. So anyway, when I mentioned that, I think actually in my last month's favorites, I mentioned that reed diffuser. Hotel Lobby sent me the candle version of it. And boy, oh boy, do I love it. It actually kind of reminds me just a little bit, the kind of sweet floral part of this fragrance reminds me of the Baccarat fragrance that, everyone knows and loves. It reminds me of that a little bit. So anyway, I just wanted to mention that, and a thank you to Hotel Lobby for sending over that candle, but I love this New York fragrance. I think I also have their hand soap. I haven't whipped that out yet. I can't wait. I can't wait. I usually get like really nice hand soaps for like guest rooms or whatever. I think I'm going to save that one for myself because I love the fragrance so much. Okay, so those are all of my non-beauty favorites. Let's move into beauty stuff. So I wasn't sure if I was going to have enough. I was like, ugh, if I'm not going to mention Sephora stuff, am I going to have enough stuff to mention? I sure do. I absolutely do. So I've got two foundations to talk about. And you know what? Actually, before we go there, I'm going to talk about this skincare, which is something that I have been adding into my moisturizer. So this is from 11 Skin, and this is called the Rose Gold Radiance Booster. So it is a skincare product. It is like a plumping kind of serum type product. So it's got niacinamide in there. It's got vitamin C. So it's also skin brightening, but it also has like hyaluronic acid and a bunch of other wonderful ingredients in here. But the best thing is you're meant to shake it well, and then you drop 1 or 2 drops in there. And can you guys see? It has the most gorgeous, glowy, rose gold finish to it. So when you add it to your moisturizer, or even if you want to add it to your foundation, it just adds like a really, really subtle glow. It's more subtle than like a liquid highlighter, than like the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. It's even more subtle than that, which I really enjoy. I don't feel like, I'm going to look like the Tin Man accidentally. It really is a nice, subtle sort of highlight addition to like your base products. It's very, very lightweight. It is a serum. It is like a true serum. And I love mixing it into my moisturizer. So I mix it into my moisturizer. You could mix it into your foundation. You can mix it in wherever you want. But because it's skincare, I kind of like throwing it in with my moisturizer. So that is the 111 Skin Rose Gold Radiance Booster. And you really don't need that many drops. They recommend like 2 or 3. And I think that's perfect. Okay, foundations. I've really been enjoying the RMS what is this called? Sun Cover Up Super Tint SPF 50. I have it in the shade Ivory, and it definitely is a glowy kind of foundation. I have very dry skin, and I felt like I probably could have used a little bit of powder by like midday wear. So if I wore it for about 8 hours, around the 4-hour mark, I could probably use a little bit of powder. And because I have dry skin, I don't usually need to do that. So this is definitely, I think, a foundation on the glowier side, but I love that. I love a foundation. Not only does it have SPF 50, which I really appreciate, but the glowiness is manageable. So like if I didn't powder my face, it still looked fine on my dry skin. It still looked just very, very glowy, and I didn't necessarily mind that. And every time I've worn this, it has worn really well all day. I haven't felt like it's broken up around my nose, which usually happens with foundation. It hasn't broken up around my nose, like in my T-zone area where sometimes I will get a little bit oilier as the day goes on. It's played very nicely with all of the other makeup I've tried with it. It's just been like a really rock solid foundation. So I've really, really been enjoying this Sun Cover Up Super Tint. That's the full name. Sun Cover Up Super Tint. And again, I have it in the shade Ivory. But let's talk about the foundation that I have on. And you guys are gonna laugh because it's taken me so long to get this foundation and to actually use it. And it took a makeup artist using this on me in Milan, but this is basically the face and body from MAC. So I have shades C1 and C2. They're very, very close, but that's what the makeup artist used on me. So that's what I got. It is what I have on my face today. Now, when I'm feeling industrious or when I feel like I have time, I will use both shades. C2 definitely works better for my forehead. C1 works a little bit better for, you know, down here where I'm a little bit paler. But when I just don't have the time to bother with both, I will just use C2, which is what I use today. I have that all over my face. I feel like once like winter gets on, I'll probably use C1 all over my face when I really start to lose any kind of sun that I've gotten. In any case, this foundation is so great. It's so lightweight, like it is completely weightless. I don't feel it on my skin at all. It has a perfect like skin-like foundation, but there's a little bit of like a softness and a slight like radiance to it. Radiance is such a strong word, but just a slight kind of sheen to it so that it doesn't look too dry or too matte. It really is so beautiful on the skin, and talk about long lasting. Like at the end of the day, it looks exactly the same as it looked at the beginning of the day. And I cannot believe it's taking me so long to use this foundation, which has been around forever. And I think many of you have recommended it to me because I've always talked about how I have dry skin and how I like lightweight foundation. And this is perfect. I think it works also for oilier skin types, but it is so lightweight. The coverage is definitely light. It is buildable. This coverage, I would say, is like a light medium, but this Studio Radiance Face and Body Radiant Sheer Foundation, it's so good. It's so good. I cannot believe it's taken me this long to try it, but I love this. So it's what I'm wearing today, and it's definitely been one of my favorites. As for the concealer that I have on today, I am wearing the Ritual Defy Serum Concealer. And what is the full name? It is the Soft Sorcery Weightless Serum Concealer. So I have it in the shade 126, and it's called a serum concealer, but I have to admit, I don't think it's very serum-y. And when I think of a serum concealer, I think it's going to be pretty thin. And I don't know if you can tell by that swatch, but this is not a thin concealer. It's not cakey either. It's just a little bit thicker than what I would consider as a serum concealer, at least a serum texture concealer. Now, despite all that, it is a wonderful concealer. It has really, really nice coverage and it blends out beautifully. I don't have any powder on my face. I just have the concealer down around my eyes, around my nose, like spotted all over my sunspots on my cheeks. It is a fantastic concealer that like melts into your skin. Now I will compare it to the Westman Atelier Vital Skin Concealer. I've been raving about that. I still love that. That's probably going to be in my Sephora recommendations. This has a similar coverage level, maybe not quite as much as the Westman Atelier, but it's also not as tacky as the Westman Atelier. I don't mind the tackiness. I do think some people don't really like that texture too much. I don't mind the tackiness because I know that's generally a concealer that's not going to budge at all, but this is a concealer that doesn't budge either, and it doesn't have that tackiness. So I've really been enjoying it. It just has a little bit of a lighter coverage than the Westman Atelier, which I personally don't mind. But if you like high coverage concealers, you'll probably want to go for the Westman Atelier. And the tones for the Ritual Defy concealer, at least for the shade that I have, a little peachy, which is nice. So there's like a little bit of correction. So if you have, you know, discoloration under your eyes that leans a little bit kind of like bluish, a peachy shade is going to be really, really great for that. So anyway, I've really been enjoying the Ritual Defy serum concealer. It's really, really flawless. All right, let's talk about what's on my face. Now, this is very new to me, but I had to mention it because I've been enjoying it so much. This is the Kevyn Aucoin Contouring Book Volume 4. And, you know, when I opened this up during my Beautylish haul, I was like, Volume 4. I was like, I don't remember 1, 2, and 3. And then it came to me. They looked completely different. They looked like books. And then they had that Kevyn Aucoin, it was like a faux lizard skin, I think, right? In like a very, very dark red. Do you guys remember that? I didn't realize that there was 3 of them. Anyway, this is number 4 and they've completely repackaged it. It comes in like a hard plastic palette. It's got this really nice kind of like brushed gold cover, and it's got 8 products in here. So 2 finishing or setting powders, a contour, bronzer, 2 blushes, 2 highlights. And I'll flash the swatches that I did during that Beautylish video. I didn't swatch the powders because you won't be able to see that. But this is just such a great basic palette. And I got a few comments that were like, oh, that Kevyn Aucoin palette, you know, it does look really nice on you, despite like how plain and like uneventful it looks. And yeah, it is pretty uneventful and it's pretty plain, but I love that it's basic. And I feel like if I just want to grab something really fast, it's going to give me, you know, contour, bronzer, blush, highlight. This is it. This is perfect. Also, huge mirrors. So if you are maybe thinking about taking this to travel, that's always really, really great. The only product that I can't really use in here is this highlight. This highlight down here is just a little bit too deep for my skin tone. It has a very strong kind of copper tone to it, which you could see in that swatch. But everything else I can use. So today I didn't powder, but generally I'd probably use this powder down here to kind of set concealer or whatever. I just wanted you guys to see the concealer and the foundation and everything without any powder, so I didn't use any today. But I do have the contour down, you know, underneath my cheekbones, around my forehead. And then I use this bronzer, which is admittedly a little bit deep for my skin tone, but I used it very sparingly and I just brushed it over my forehead, down my nose, on my chin, just to give my skin like a little bit of glow. And then for blush and highlight, I actually used some different products because I wanted to kind of spread the love amongst all of these favorites. But these products are great. They're very, very straightforward. Like what you see is what you get. The highlights are very bright, very strong. All of the rest of these products are matte, basically. So again, just really simple, really standard, just great, great, great everyday products. So I've been loving it. It's just been sitting out on my vanity. I've been using it every day. Oh, and since I did get this through Beautylish, and I talked about this because of the Beautylish gift card event, I do want to say that today is the last day to take advantage of the Beautylish gift card event. So for every $100 you spend, you'll get a $20 gift card that you can spend at Beautylish in the future. And they're going to start sending out the gift cards tomorrow because the event ends today. So just wanted to mention that. And I should have mentioned this when I talked about the Ritual de Fille, but this is available at Credo, and Credo Beauty is having 20% off site-wide for their friends and family event. So you may want to take advantage of that. Ritual Fille is carried there. A lot of the cleaner beauty brands are carried at Credo Beauty, Westman Atelier, et cetera, et cetera. But I love how all of these companies are trying to get out ahead of the Sephora savings event, and it's to our benefit. So I love it. But Ritual de Fille is found at Credo Beauty. Oh, and RMS. RMS is at Credo Beauty as well. All right. All right, let's move on. Let's keep going. So this blush, I can't stop using. It's what I have on my cheeks today. It's why I didn't use the blushes in the Kevyn Aucoin palette. I've been saying Ravi Beauty. This is Ravi Beauty. I actually, I watched Allie's video like over and when she says it, I like stopped it and replayed it over and over and I was like, Ravi, Ravi. So it is Ravi Beauty. Apologies, Allie, for mispronouncing it when I first got it. But this is the shade Paradise, and this is the Endless Diffusion Everyday Baked Blush. I love a good baked product, first and foremost, and I just love these marbled ones. First of all, I feel like they're a throwback to like when Laura Geller had those baked blushes. What was that one called? It was like melon? What was it called? I remember Kathleen Lights like would not stop talking about it. Anyway, it reminds me of those. This color I absolutely love because it's a little bit more neutral, even kind of cool leaning. It's called Paradise. Did I mention that? So this shade is Paradise. She has, I think, 3 shades in total, but they just go on so smoothly, so beautifully. I love baked products because they're not that easy to pick up. There's never really the opportunity to like over blush, which is such a travesty because I feel like when you over blush, it's really hard to like take it down. Of course, you can always put powder on top, you can take it off and start over, but it's really hard to like just kind of like blend it out. Sit there blending it out. It's really tough. So I love blushes that are a little bit more subtle and easy to build. And I find baked blushes to be that way, or baked products to be that way in general. So this is absolutely gorgeous. And in fact, the brush that she sells with these, I think mine is dirty, so it's probably in my dirty brush pile, but it's excellent. Excellent. If you're looking for like a new blush brush, it's synthetic haired. It works great with this. I love that brush for this blush too. Say that 3 times fast. Okay, that is definitely one of my favorites from this past month. And as far as the highlighter that has won my heart, it is what I have on today. And I was real skeptical about this when I first got it, but this is the Chanel Diamond Dust like oversized illuminating powder. Now, when I first got this and opened it up, I was like, that's glittery. But the glitter is overspray. It is absolutely overspray. I think someone in my comments was like, oh no, the essay was telling me the glitter is all the way through. It is absolutely not. So you can see I basically like wiped off the overspray in the center, this like center sunburst part, and then the glitter is still over here. And I left it on the outside just so you guys could see the difference there. So I don't necessarily like that much glitter because it's kind of chunky. I don't like that kind of glitter in my highlight. Eyeshadow every once in a while, it's fun, I get it, I like that, but not like on my face like that. And so I just need to get through that overspray. And if you're like me, it is just overspray. You'll just have to kind of basically dust it away. So moving on to the actual highlight, it has like a champagne gold reflect to a pink. Actually, you could probably see it on my cheek better. Do you see that pink highlight? It's very, very subtle. Again, I'm not usually like, you know, a duochrome, a color shift kind of highlight person, but because it's so subtle, I just think it's so beautiful. I tend to really gravitate towards like just champagne kind of highlights, but this little subtle shift to this pink that's slightly peach, I think it's so pretty. I'm really, really enjoying it. I'm enjoying it a lot more than I thought. Like every time I use it, I feel like I like it more and more. So I've been loving this highlight from Chanel. This compact is giant. Let me just hold it up next to one of their blushes. So this is one of their big compacts. And I feel like their bronzers usually come in this size. I don't know if have they had a highlight in this size? Probably. But this is a lot of highlight, and it's probably something you may want to use on your body if you don't want to waste it. It is a very big compact. Okay, so that is it for highlight. Let me talk about eyebrows. So this is a repeat from last month and even maybe the month before, but I'm really still enjoying these Billion Dollar Brows Color and Control Tinted Brow Gel. I have the shade Raven. So this is a great tinted brow gel with some fibers in there. Nice small spoolie, and it is what I have on my brows today. So I've mentioned this before, I'm not going to go on too much about it, but I like that it gives my brows like a soft hold. Nothing too crispy, it's just a nice kind of like soft, firm hold to my brows. It's perfect. What I also wanted to mention, because I've been wanting to mention this and use this more, but it had been sold out, is now finally back in stock. This is the Jones Road, the Brow Pencil in the shade gray. And this has been the perfect like fill in color. So I used to always go for like dark browns if I was looking for like an eyebrow product, dark brown or whatever, try and find something that's cooler toned. Now I feel like the gray is just perfect. It's probably the fact that I'm going gray, but it just works in my brows so much better than the browns. I feel like the browns, unless it's like super dark, but if it's, you know, just a nice dark chocolatey brown, I feel like it looks so obvious in my brows. And then once I tried this gray pencil, I was like, oh, There we go. That's my shade. So it just looks so much more natural. So this is the pencil that I've been gravitating towards. It's just been great. Okay, eyes. So I have been loving this Cheetah Eye Trio, and you know, much like the Kevyn Aucoin face palette, when you look at this, not much to report. You know, it's pretty basic, but again, that's what I love about it. I am pretty simple, I'm pretty plain when it comes to my makeup, and so I have these two matte shades basically like all over my lids, and then I have the deeper metallic shade, shimmer shade, basically on the outer part of my lid. And the shimmery bits in that darker brown are cool toned. So it's really, really interesting. Here are some swatches of the three shades, but it's a really, really beautiful palette. I find the eyeshadows to be long lasting. Anytime I put them on in the morning, they're still exactly where they were, you know, when I go to wash it off at night. What I love about the shimmer shade is I don't have any fallout. It's really, really easy to use. And it's just a great everyday palette. I feel like perfect for daytime, obviously. And then you can just kind of sweep this all over if you want to move into like an evening or a cocktail situation. I just think it's great. It's compact. You have cheetahs on there. How adorable. There's a little mirror inside. I just feel like this is the perfect addition to any makeup collection because you can never go wrong with shades like this. Now, I do want to also mention that I love this center shade so much because it is very, very neutral and it stays very, very neutral. It's like what I have in the center of my lids and like a little bit in my socket line. So you can see that there. Very neutral. Doesn't warm up. It doesn't cool down. It doesn't start to look gray. It doesn't start to look too orangey. It's perfectly neutral and I love it. I love it. So Chantecaille quality, beautiful shades, nice and compact. It's just everything I love. So that's the Cheetah Eye Trio. The mascara that I've really been enjoying, it is what I have on today, is this Swede mascara. It's their Cloud Mascara, and I've been using dark brown. And let me just show you the wand. It is a plastic bristle wand. So it does a great job lengthening my lashes. Can you see that? Amazing job lengthening my lashes. I really, really have been loving it. It stays put, it doesn't smudge, all those things. And is this a tubing mascara? I have two of their mascaras now, and now I can't remember if one is tubing. It could be tubing. I'll put up here on the screen what it is. While I'm editing, I will look it up. I have their Pro Lash Lift mascara. This is the one with the comb applicator. I like this mascara as well. I feel the comb is just a little bit more difficult to use than that wand, which is a little bit more traditional. And you know what? And neither of these could be tubing. I could just be making that up completely. But anyway, I'll let you know on the screen right here. So loving that mascara. And then let's move on to lips. So let's just start with what I have on my lips. So I have been recreating what the makeup artist in Milan did on my lips. And that is a combination of, and I'm kind of breaking my rule here because you can find this product at Sephora, but this is the Artist Color Pencil from Makeup Forever in 506 Endless Cacao. So I line my lips with this, which is a very cool toned, deeper kind of brown. I wouldn't say it's a dark brown because it is so cool toned, but it's deeper. It's deeper than mid-tone. And I basically just line my lips with that. And then what she used on me, and this was so great because I told her I wanted kind of like a nude natural lip, and this is what she came up with. And this is probably the last thing that I would use on my lips if I wanted something natural, but it just worked. It worked so well. So I picked up the Chanel Rouge Coco Flash in 96. This is Phenomene. I'm just gonna go with that. Or you know what? Phenomenon. That is the shade. It is this really beautiful red berry tone. And you guys know how much I love the Rouge Coco Flash formula. It is like a heavily tinted balm. It's very, very balmy, and that's what I like about it. It has a balmy feel. It has a balmy appearance. It is definitely, you know, it's pigmented. It's not just tinted, but it's not, you know, heavily pigmented. Anyway, this combination, she was a genius. Between this and this is so great. It's so great. It's what I have on my lips. And yeah, I absolutely love it. So I know there was a question on which shade she used on me. It was between this and I think like Dominant. It's this one because this one has like a little bit more berry. The Dominant was more just like red. It was this one because this one has a little bit of that cooler toned appearance. And I did also mention that I have been loving this gloss. So Arma sent this to me and they included this case. Now, I don't know if this case is for sale, but it's got this little lips charm right there. And then it says Be Legendary in these beads. They sent me shade Lucia, and this lip gloss is so good. It's so comfortable, but it's not sticky. It's not tacky. It's not overly glossy. It's just a really nice sheen with a really, really light tint. I think it's really, really beautiful. So I wanted to mention that, and also available at Credo Beauty. So 20% off. So that's always very helpful. But yeah, I've just been throwing on this lip balm like on the go. It's in my purse generally. I just really, really love it. All right, guys, that is it for this month's non-Sephora favorites. Definitely stay tuned and definitely subscribe down below if you haven't already. If you are interested in my Sephora recommendations, those will be coming pretty much all week. I'm going to have a video for basically like the skincare, hair care, body care, all that kind of stuff. I'm going to put that in one video. Then I'm going to have a video that's just for makeup because I don't know, this year or this season, I feel like there's been a lot of good stuff. So I didn't want to just shove it all into one giant video. It would just be too long. And then the sale starts November 1st. So anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in and I will see you in the next one.